While most of America mourned the barbaric attack on a small town in Texas, the gun-grabbing, prayer-shaming servants of almighty government took the tragic shooting as an opportunity to push their liberal narrative and gleefully dance in the blood of their fellow citizens. Within hours of the news of a shooting at First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, gun grabbers on social media jumped on anyone who dared to send thoughts and prayers to the victims and their loved ones. And because the attack happened in a church, the attacks on social media were all that more vicious. In tweet after tweet, leftist politicians and actors and pundits slammed those who even dared suggest that those suffering in Texas might be in need of some kind of spiritual assistance. Many of them spitefully played off the fact that the victims were in a church, including actor Will Wheaton, who said that if prayers did anything, the victims would still be alive. And actor Michael McKean, who basically said the same thing while adding that the victims had the prayers shot right out of them. Cenk Uygur added, if politicians had given more than just thoughts and prayers after the last mass shooting, then maybe the Texas massacre might not have happened. And there are far too many other repulsive, disgusting, stomach-turning examples to list them all at this point, but you get the picture. And of course, the argument is that these prayers aren't enough, and that what the victims really needed instead was for the government to hand down more gun control laws. But the question is, which constitutional law would have stopped this from happening? Please, show it to us. According to officials, the suspected shooter was not even supposed to have access to a firearm due to his past criminal convictions. And looking outside the U.S., please tell us which gun laws were supposed to stop the terrorists at the Bataclan or any other tragic shooting in Europe that we've seen over the past few years from being armed. The real issue at its base is that you have two different belief systems fighting each other here. You have one that acknowledges that we've dealt with evil since the fall of man and that getting rid of it is only possible for God, and then you have people who want the government to play God. Legislation is their liturgy, and regulation is their sacrament, even when laws fail to stop killings like this. But regardless, for the devout followers of the Almighty State, there can be no legitimate work of mercy, no deliverance from evil that doesn't have the blessing of a legislator, a judge, or a bureaucrat. And so they mock and they ridicule anyone who dares not follow their path. You see, for a person who thinks this way, prayer doesn't really matter. It's just something you do to make yourself feel good. But for those of us who believe in a higher power than government, we'll continue to send thoughts and prayers. We'll pray for the dead. We'll pray for the wounded. We'll pray for those whose lives have been torn apart by this act of pure evil. We'll pray for justice. We'll pray for healing. We'll pray for understanding. We'll pray for an end to evil and protection from it in the meantime. And yes, we'll even pray for those mocking us while tap dancing on the graves of at least 26 innocent Americans. And there's not a thing they can do to stop us.